Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Well, if you're on this side of the internet, then this is your favorite time of the year. So welcome to my fall TBR and all the things that I kind of plan to do during this season. So if you like this kind of content, do stick around. I would love to have you here. So hit subscribe, like, and let me know what your favorite Halloween or fall activity is down below. So I'm really excited for the autumn season. We're already starting to see a change in the weather, and I'm so happy. It has been so windy and cold, so I am all here for it. I even brought out my little beanie again. Cannot wait to start wearing them like all the time. And I just want to have a chat. Let's go through like my plans for this season, what sort of content you should expect to see, and most importantly, the books that I want to read during this season. So let's start off with some content ideas. I'm doing a video series which is like short form content. You haven't seen it on YouTube just yet, but I'm working on a series called Shop the Shelves, where I do some challenges and I pick books from my shelves to read them, because I am collecting a lot, running out of space on these shelves. And I kind of just want to read the stuff that I already own, and that's where Shop the Shelves came from. So I have done 2 episodes at this point. I'm hoping to post them during this season and to kind of continue making that content. So if you're interested, do check out the shorts section on my channel, because you'll see those videos there. It's a new short form content idea. And then moving on to YouTube content, I do hope to do a vlog dedicated to reading some spooky books, and I want to bring you some more recommendations. So if you have any ideas of what you want to see recommended, let me know down below, and I will work on those videos. I also want to round up some of the movies that I've been watching, and obviously what I plan to watch in the upcoming season. This is a very popular time for the horror genre. Lots of new releases are coming out, so I will be checking out a lot, such as The Conjuring Last Rites, The Strangers Part 2, The Long Walk. There are so many that I cannot wait to go and see. So I will probably do a little content vlog on those, and then also rounding up all the movies that I have been watching in the last season, and so on. So that is the content ideas, and I will also be trying to get started on a video vlog thing that my friend wants to be involved in. So she is creating a list of books that would be out of my comfort zone to read. She thought it would be a nice idea to recommend some books to see how I feel. So I'll probably be making some content around those books and giving you my thoughts on what it's like to read outside of a horror girl's comfort zone. And talking about reading, I will be moving on to the books that I hope to read, which are kind of just out of the shot. I do have a big stack of books here that I want to read during the spooky season. There are a few that haven't been published yet that are also on my list. I will talk about those first. So the second book in the Impossible Creatures trilogy, I think it's going to be, by Catherine Rundell, is publishing in the middle of September. So I will be reading that new book and then heading to her Edinburgh event as well. I really loved Impossible Creatures. It was one of my favourite books from 2024. So I'm super excited to delve into the sequel, and also to get to meet Catherine and get my books personalised. I'm super excited to delve into that one. And then we also have Hot Wax, which is by ML Rio. I did try to read If We Were Villains recently, but I have soft DNF'd that book. I couldn't get into it at the time, but I am super intrigued by Hot Wax. It's kind of screaming We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix, that sort of vibe. So I'm super intrigued to read that ahead of her event in October. I'm also heading off to see Tim Levin and Christopher Golden. I have read both of their books that are publishing, I think, between September and October. So Tim Lebbon's The Secret Lives of the Dead and Christopher Golden's The Nightbirds. I have read both of their books now ahead of the release. Thank you so much to the publishers for allowing me to read those ahead of the event. I really loved The Secret Lives of the Dead. It was incredible. And also The Nightbirds was a great read too. So I'm really excited to meet those authors. I've met Tim Lebbon before. So super excited to go to that event at the end of October. We also have Stephanie Garber coming to Edinburgh for the release of her newest adult book, I believe. I won't be reading that before the event because I just don't have the time, and there are a lot of other books I need to get to. So I will be going to that event at the end of October with my friend and picking up the book there, having her personalize it, as well as my Once Upon a Broken Heart series, because I really love those books. So I'm really looking forward to those events. And I think that's all the book events that I will be attending in September and October. I don't think there is any other ones that I plan to be going to the rest of the year, but we will see what happens, because CJ Cook is touring for her newest book, The Last Witch, which again is another one I have already read and absolutely love. It was incredible and highly recommend that you pick it up. But I am hopefully going to be going to that event to meet her again, because I really loved The Last Witch and I want to hear her talk about the research into witchcraft and how she goes about it. I think that will be very interesting to attend. It hasn't been announced yet, but she has said that in the next couple of weeks we should see London and Edinburgh events being announced very shortly. I'm super excited for that as well, so that could be another one that I add to my list. So that's all of the events, and I guess the only thing now to cover are my books on the TBR. Starting with the books that I have already started. So I am currently reading The Cut by Richard Armitage. This is for a tandem read along for the release of The Cut, which has just been published at the end of August. We are only 100 pages in at this point, but it is very intriguing. It's a thriller about a murder or an accident 30 years ago. Somebody who was charged for it is released, and in our current timeline we're following Ben, who has kids now 30 years later, and his son is cast in the film what happened, and he's forced to relive all of that trauma again. That's as much as I know at this point. It's sounding kind of interesting. I want the pace to pick up a little bit, but it's currently an interesting read and I'm excited to delve further into it. I also had a library hold come in for We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough. This is a gothic haunted house story that is very psychological, and it's like a woman wakes up from her coma and they move into a new house, and the house isn't what they thought it would be. Lots of weird things are happening, and the house is leaving notes saying you're going to die here or soon. I think it's going to be full of twists. We've already heard some interesting things that the couple have done separately but to each other. It is dual perspective, so we're getting Emily and Freddie's thoughts and experiences during this whole thing. It's so intriguing. I am 100 pages into this one as well. I'm really loving it and I really want to pick this up again. It's kind of got that quick vibe where you can just read it really quickly, and I feel like I'm going to finish this very, very soon. Moving on, we have Disturbance by Jenna Glick. This is a weird girl story. It's about feminine rage. There's heavy domestic violence in this story. Our main character makes friends with their teenage neighbor, and she wants to do magic with this teenager, to disturb her abusive ex-boyfriend. And yeah, that's as much as I know. I'm very intrigued to delve into it. It is kind of on the shorter side, so I feel like this may be a quick read, so we'll see. A book I've been highly anticipating is The Tarot Reader of Versailles by Anya Bergman. I really loved The Witches of Varda, and I think Anya's writing is incredible. It's got a way of like hooking you into the story, and I've been wanting to pick up the Tarot Reader for a while. I did pick it up in like your trade paperback form from Ireland, and I just want to pick it up. So the tarot reading and the whole like early French Revolution, I don't know why, but it screams autumn to me. So I've been putting it off until the autumn time to delve into it. So I'm very intrigued to see what this is all about. So the next one I'm very intrigued to delve into, and that is Stay in the Light by A.M. Shine. I read The Watchers early last year and really wanted to pick up the sequel. The Watchers is like a Irish folk tale about changelings in a forest, and I really loved how that book ended, and I also really enjoyed the movie, to be fair. So I wanted to pick up and see what happens after the events of The Watcher. So I found this arc in a charity shop, and yeah, I was like, why not give it a shot, see if I like it. I think I will, because I really love The Watchers. Then we have a book that I've had on my shelf for almost a year since I came back from Toronto, and that is Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. I want to read all of Nat Cassidy's books. I do have Mary on the shelf, but I thought I would start with Nestlings simply because I love the whole vampire vibe and it screams like autumn. So yeah, I know there's hype around this. It's like Rosemary's Baby, so I'm super intrigued to find out what this is going to be like. If you've read any of these books as well, let me know your thoughts on them down below. Then we have another book I've been wanting to pick up for ages. That's Little Eve by Catriona Ward. I do have only 2 books at this point before her new books get released to read. Little Eve is one of them, and I love Catriona Ward's writing. It makes you think. So this one has like a early 1920s vibe. It's set in Scotland, so I love anything that's set in Scotland. It's just immaculate. I think maybe I have a bit of bias now I live in Scotland, but stories set in this country just ring home to me. It's got like gothic vibes, your folk feel, and so I think this is gonna have all of those vibes that I want in a story. This one's often quoted to be a gothic literary story that has some dark and twisty turns, and I wouldn't expect anything less from Catriona Ward. The other books I have on the list are some pretty popular ones that a lot of horror creators often rant and rave about. The first one is The Reformatory by Tananarive Jew. This is set in the 1950s in Florida. It's about a home for boys, I believe. People have often said it's a dark southern gothic vibe sort of story, and it is one that you need to read. Lots of people have given this 4 stars that I've seen, or 5 stars. It's a pretty popular and well-loved book, so I thought it was about time I put it on this list. It is chunky, so I'm hoping that I can get to it at some point, but it is one of my priorities on the list. We also have Monstrillo by Gerardo Samano Cordova. This is a story about grief and a woman who has a part of her son's lung after they die, and it starts growing into Monstrillo. That's as much as I know. People also love this book a lot, and I had waited until it was in paperback in the UK, so I think it's been on the shelf long enough, so I might as well read it during the spooky season. And you never know, you may see some of these books in a vlog that I talked about reading spooky books for the spooky season. Next one is Hell House by Richard Matheson. This is another haunted house story. I kind of like haunted house stories, to be fair. I've seen this a lot recently. People have said it's kind of like a scary haunted house. So why not give it a go during the haunted house season? Next we have a book that's been on there for a year, and that is Edenville by Sam Reblin. It's a mixture of subgenres of horror, so you've got cosmic, you've got body horror in there, and it also leans a little bit gothic. I'm super intrigued to delve into it because it's a giant spider. Again, I think it has something to do with a haunted house, so I'm super intrigued to delve into it, and I've been looking at it on the shelf for so long. I just think it's about time that I prioritize it during this season. And we have 2 more books. The next one is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. I have read 3 other books by Geneva Rose, and I've seen that the works recently had Home is Where the Bodies Are, so I wanted to pick it up. I love the cover, it is incredible, and I think it's something that I will enjoy. I think her thrillers are quite fun. I did enjoy The Perfect Marriage. The Perfect Divorce is okay, but The Perfect Marriage was definitely a lot better. I'm intrigued to see how well Home is Where the Bodies Are goes. Again, it is a nice short read, so it shouldn't take me too long. And the last book on the list is Ararat by Christopher Golden. This is the only book on my shelves from Christopher Golden that I haven't read yet, and I guess because I'm going to meet Christopher at one of the book events, I wanted to give this one a read, and then prioritize the books I want to take to get personalized. So that is why this is on the list. It's also polar horror, so it's kind of more wintry than spooky, but that's absolutely fine with me. I love polar horror, it's one of my favourite subgenres. So there we have it. These are all the books, plus the Hot Wax and the sequel to Impossible Creatures, books that are on my autumn TBR list. Let me know your thoughts on any of these books and what your plans are for the season. Let me know, and I hope to see you back for more content very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye!